JWT is the most popular way to handle auth and the most misunderstood. Developers pick it for scale, then make one tiny mistake that quietly breaks their whole login system. They think JWT is encrypted. It isn't. Here's a real JWT. Watch this middle section. I can decode it into plain, readable text. Wait, anyone can read this? In the next few minutes, you'll understand exactly how sessions and JWT actually work, when each one is the right choice, and the 4 mistakes that turn JWT from a useful tool into a security bug. Because we'll just use JWT has become one of the most common default decisions in web development. And surprisingly often, it's the wrong one. Let's start with the problem both of these are trying to solve. HTTP is stateless. Every request is independent. The moment your login request finishes, the server forgets you ever existed. On your next click, you're just another anonymous request. So after you log in, we need a way for the server to recognize you on every future request. Sessions and JWT solve that exact problem. But they do it in completely opposite ways. And the entire difference comes down to one question. Who owns the source of truth? The server or the token? First, the server remembers. When you log in, the server creates a session. It stores that session somewhere. Memory, a database, usually Redis. Then it sends your browser one tiny piece of information, a session ID. That's just a long random string stored inside a cookie. Every future request automatically sends that cookie back. The server reads the session ID, looks it up, and says, "Ah, this is Priya. She's an admin." Notice something important. The session ID itself means nothing. It's just a code check ticket. The real information stays safely on the server. And here's the superpower. Logging someone out is trivial. Delete the session. The ticket immediately points to nothing. Instant logout. Full control. The downside? The server has to remember every logged-in user. Keep that in the back of your mind. That's exactly where JWT makes its pitch. JWT flips the model. Now, the token remembers. Instead of storing a session, the server builds a token. Inside that token are things like your user ID, your role, and an expiration time. Then the server signs the token with its secret key. That signature proves one thing. Nobody has modified the token. It does not hide what's inside. The server sends the token back and forgets about it. Every future request includes that same token. The server simply verifies the signature. If the signature is valid, it trusts the information inside. No session lookup, no database, no Redis. That's what people mean when they say JWT is stateless. Sounds amazing, until you run into the 4 mistakes almost everyone makes. Mistake 1. JWT is signed, not encrypted. Anyone who gets the token can decode the payload and read it. Never put passwords, API keys, or any secret information inside it. Mistake 2. Logging out isn't simple anymore. Remember sessions? Delete the session. Done. JWT has nothing to delete. The server already forgot about it. That token stays valid until it expires. Even if the user logs out, even if their laptop is stolen, even if the account is compromised. Mistake 3. So what's the fix? Make access tokens short-lived, maybe 15 minutes. Then issue refresh tokens. But those live on the server, so you can revoke them. But here's the catch. A token you store and revoke is server-side state. The very thing JWT was supposed to eliminate. You brought state back. Mistake 4. Never store JWT in local storage. If your site ever suffers an XSS attack, JavaScript can read it. Prefer an HTTP-only cookie. The browser can send it automatically, but JavaScript can't touch it. Just set the same site flag too, so it's safe from CSRF attacks. So after all those downsides, why does JWT even exist? Here's where it finally makes sense. Imagine one server, then 10, then 50 microservices. Now ask yourself, where should the session live? Every service needs access to it, so you introduce Redis. Now every authentication request depends on that shared store. Plenty of large systems do exactly this. It works. But that shared store becomes another dependency. JWT avoids that. The auth server signs each token with a private key. Every other service verifies it with a public key. No callback to the auth server. No shared store. No session lookup. No network round trip. That's the scalability advantage people talk about. And it's real. But mostly in distributed systems. So which one should you choose? Building a normal web application with a single backend? Sessions are usually simpler, easier to revoke, reason about, and secure. Building mobile APIs, multiple backend services, or distributed authentication. That's where JWT starts earning its complexity. Here's the entire video in one sentence. Sessions keep the truth on the server and hand you a ticket.
JWT puts the truth inside the ticket and keeps nothing on the server. Everything else, logout, revocation, scaling, refresh tokens, all follows naturally from that one design decision. Stateful gives you control. Stateless gives you scale. Neither is universally better. They're different trade-offs. If this finally made JWT click instead of feeling like magic, that's exactly what this channel is about. We understand why technologies exist, not just how to use them. Subscribe if that's how you like to learn. And I'll see you in the next one.